Hey everyone, we've seen that November 8th passed, and so now we're kind of looking at the 11/11. I know there's a lot going on, there's midterm elections. There's also the Jerusalem Declaration that was signed yesterday. So this is the faith leaders that gathered yesterday in Israel to sign the Jerusalem Declaration. And if you think this is a random coincidence, well, I'm going to show you a quick excerpt from the declaration itself. Okay, so this is the official White House press release. You can see it was signed on the 14th of July. I've actually mentioned this previously in another video. That 14th of July is approximately the date. It's the third month, 15th day when Israel arrived to Mount Sinai, where the Lord was going to make a covenant with them. So I find it very interesting that there's a parallel between that and the day that Biden arrives and signs the covenant. And of course, if we go down here, you can go and have a look at it by yourself. I just wanted to draw your attention to this thing. This one line here where it says, United States and Israel affirm that among the values the countries share is an unwavering commitment to democracy, the rule of law, and the calling of Tikkun Olam. And I hope I said that right. Which really, they've said there, it means repairing the world. So that's what Tikkun Olam means. We can even go and have a look at that. But so whilst everything was going on, this is all happening on the first of Sukkot. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so why I'm so excited about the time coming up is obviously, the blood moon Uranus conjunction underneath the Lamb of God, not Aries. The depiction is, for me, is pretty, it's a good lineup. If we swing over here, we can see that the sun represents God, and Mercury, Mercury seems to be this kind of highlighter, if you will. And Venus are all actually in what used to be known, it's in Libra, but it was formerly known. So Libra was changed around the 1500s, I think. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it was changed around the 1500s. So this actually used to be known as the Altar constellation. Daniel tells us that the enemy, changed the times and the seasons. And of course we have the names of the constellations. What I find very interesting is, just to rabbit hole a bit here, is that Libra is, supposedly, I'm not entirely sure where it came from, but I know that the Romans had their say, and they left this constellation as the Altar constellation, as an altar constellation for up until it was changed in turn of the century. 1500s. So anyway, if we look at this as not as a scale, but as an arc or a covenant, which is more likely what the Lord is using these constellations for. We see that Venus, the bright morning star, Sun, and Mercury are all in there. So that's all lining up, and but I do want to point out something that's going to happen. So now the next day that we're looking at is 11/11, and it's pretty exciting. Of course, that lands on Cheshvan 17, which on the Hebcal is or Torah calendar is the day that Noah gets into the ark. So let's just let's go for the moon. There we go. I'm just going to center it. Again, sorry, just look at the time, 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock is the 9th hour. That's when Jesus cried, Tetelestai. It is finished. It is done. It's a military statement, a legal statement, and just a hoorah. He finished his work at 3 o'clock. So in my thinking, we're going to kind of pick up from that time. So I just find it very interesting. All these constellation lineups are happening around that. So let us go to the day that we want. I'm not going to be able to do this. Sorry, folks. I'm gonna flip screen and just get us to the day. Okay. All right. So you can see now where we are. We're on the 11th at 3 o'clock. And what we have here is we have the moon and Mars, but in between the horns of the bull. No, I've lost my place. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so just a very quick one. Looking at this whole setup, I felt there was something to this, and I believe that I was led to read Chronicles, 1 Chronicles. Oh goodness me! Sorry, I've closed it now. I was actually reading it out of the Word. Basically, it's when David brings the Ark of the Covenant, and he wants to, build a temple, and he wants to make a tabernacle. Of course, it doesn't go well. One of his men puts out their hand, and I think it's Uzziah, puts out his hand, and he's struck. The Lord breaks out against him. So they he then puts the ark in a house of Obed Edom. And Obed Edom, it says that he greatly prospers, and then David kind of makes a plan, and we see the Ark of the Covenant, finding its way through, and David's setting up all the. Basically, he's setting it up to be carried as the Lord directed Moses to do. And of course, there's so he's appointing musicians and everything like that. And this name Obed Edom pitches up quite a few times, and he's in the musicians. He's the guard of the ark. There's lots of he has multiple roles where nobody else seems to have as many roles as he does. Plus, he's the ark keeper. So, very interestingly, this is where the connection is. Obed actually means willing servant, and Edom means red. So, let's have a look at this. We've got the Taurus or the ox, and the ox is according to the word, it's a type and shadow of Jesus as the servant. Jesus is able to do it all. He has done it all. He has the victory, but and of course, the Edom means red, and we have a red planet. So I kind of want to cancel out that connotation of Mars being something that's warlike. If this is the Lord's heaven, so I believe that the Lord will use whatever He wants to. And of course, we have the moon right in the middle. Now, what's interesting is the positioning is that they're between, so both the Mars and the moon are between the horns. And if we, the horns are actually trumpets. They are, that's what you make a shofar out of. I think there's the two types. So, is there, I don't know if I'm just drawing out things, but maybe there's a very strong connection to this for me. Especially we're waiting for the sound of the trumpet. We've been talking about it for so long, and here's the servant and the covenant. And I believe that the red actually is the confirmation of an interim to covenant. It's something that the Lord is doing right now immediately. From what I understand, and again, it's hard to kind of. I'm still kind of learning as well as I go. So, but anyway, let's go and have a look at where the sun is. Now, I find this very interesting. So the sun is in the arc, or the altar constellation, or the arc constellation, if you like. The Lord is like the tablets, and like the almond blossom of staff of Aaron. There's that's where that sort of there's that kind of connection. But Venus, the bright and morning star, is actually it kind of breaks that borderline, And if you were to put a picture of the ark down, the top of the ark would basically be on the left-hand side of your screen where Venus is. So, is this the Lord confirming his covenant? Is this him saying, hey, get ready to go, and then, delivering us, and then bringing us into his throne room? And if we look at the end of what would be the end of Sukkot, let's go to I think it's the 15th, so we had 1, 2, 3, right, okay, there we go. And we find that the moon is situated in what's known as the sheepfold, not Cancer, it's not a crab. Again, it's another constellation that's been changed, but we understand that there's a connection to a heavenly place there. So very interesting. I'm quite excited about all these lineups. I hope they keep encouraging people. I think the Lord is, he's marked out our covenant with him in the sky, or what Jesus has done for us. So yeah, I kind of, that's how I see everything kind of playing out, rather than just a very simplistic sort of judgment on the world. Maybe there's two meanings to that, but I think the Lord would want us to know that he's coming to get us. He's an awesome God, a good God, and he doesn't do anything without telling his servants first. Amen. Okay, folks, I hope that encouraged you. Be blessed. Keep looking up. We're nearly out of here.